Alright, so fresh off the bus from the North Pyramid to the Middle Pyramid, and this one is definitely much higher up in elevation. Much more casing stones, of course, is up high, and we are much more on the bedrock. They had to flatten out the bedrock to build this one. So let's see what kind of cool stuff we can find. Alright, so taking a look at the second pyramid here. Again, much higher up on the bedrock, and of course the bottom layers here are gigantic and are bedrock themselves. Still more of these big, large megalithic blocks just all over the floor. You're just walking around on them all the time. These blocks right here are gigantic. I don't even know what these are, but we can go over there and see. So these are very, very big. So there we go. I'm standing, and that's about level with me. This one's even bigger. Standing, and it's well above my head. So, very interesting. Okay, here, so finding some more of the sort of drill holes and some more water channels. And we have this drain here, or whatever, I'm not even sure what it is. Red granite, of course, slotted into the limestone bedrock. This is kind of weird here. This is like some sort of different stone here that's kind of embedded into the limestone. That's kind of weird. So again, we have all these big megalithic and polygonal stones here on the floor that are just sitting here. Cool to see all this. Old corals. Very cool. So let's get up a little bit closer and see what we can see. Alright, so we're looking here at an iron deposit. Just not heated up or anything, just more so calcified iron ore. Flaked right off. It's embedded in the limestone. It's definitely not a bunch of slag or anything. The two of them are doing a little bit of a talk where they have these ribbons, so to speak, flowing from inside to out here. Who knows? I doubt this block right here was there for since original, but that's kind of what the gist of what she was saying is, that we have these ribbons of sort of calcified iron, a mineral, that get washed into the limestone, and now we're still here. It's definitely iron, brown and gray. Yeah, we can see very well rusted right here. Okay, so here's a little bit better view at the iron staining. Definitely runoff and whatnot. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose would be, and neither did she. She didn't really have much of an explanation, but definitely a lot of iron in here that flowed into the limestone. This is definitely still limestone. And now we have iron oxide, which gives us the red. Alright, so here on the east side of the Middle Pyramid, and looking on the floor, we have the megalithic polygonal blocks with all the holes drilled in them. And we're looking at the red granite lower casing stones. Looks like maybe this was about the edge, the bottom edge. Hard to say because they've been harvested and cut at later dates. interesting. Looking down southward from the east side here, I wanted to see how straight it is, and I would say it's actually not very straight. Again, so these are going to be the interior stones, which if you watch the Mike Haddock videos, he says you place your face stone on first and then put all your junk behind it. This cut here looks a lot straighter. Not perfect though, but just something interesting to think about from the assembly and erection standpoint. Alright, so the north side of the middle pyramid here, I wanted to recreate one of the Mike Haddock clips to where he wants to try and show the sort of eclipse the slope of it like that. It's kind of hard to do with the sun right there, but hopefully that got the clip kind of close. I don't know how that came out, so hopefully it came out okay. Alright, so this here looks like the most intact casing stone here. Somebody was definitely trying to cut it into thirds to get to harvest the stone, and I'll try and do the eclipse one more time.
I saw the same thing on the hexagonal piece on the other side of the pyramid. You see that hexagon over there?
So a lot of these people just don't know how to swing a hammer, so what I'm overhearing of some of these people is maybe not quite the most accurate to how a builder would perhaps perceive something, and they're trying to play it up a little bit more than it needs to be. Standing on the first row here, looking down it, certainly not straight, but if we try to look level, it definitely is level all the way across. Hard to show with the cell phone camera. It's much easier to go by your eye, but it is quite level. I definitely will say that. I don't have the leveling app on my phone, but there is one kid that does, and he's been going around placing it on these different various stones and on the patios and everything, and they are pretty much right on, and he hasn't had anything out of level. Alright, on the northeast corner of the middle pyramid here, we're kind of in this area here where it's been chipped out of the bedrock. I just wanted to take another look down, looking across, and it's pretty much level right across within maybe an inch or two, I'd say. Variation, probably more or less than that, half of an inch to an inch. The straightness going straight across, not so much. The level is pretty much perfect right on though. So we know that this was the bedrock was leveled off in order to create the base of this one. So it looks like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 about rows on this very corner here were just simply carved away and then put allowed space for casing stones on this corner. The floor is bedrock, no polygonal stones. There are cut marks though, kind of like these right here. My question is, why did we leave the cut marks here on the bottom? It wouldn't take very much to cut that, to sand that smooth. Okay, so on the enclosure here, the first hieroglyph that I have seen here, obviously I don't know what any of that says. One interesting thing I'm looking at is all the drill holes. I'm not sure exactly what all the drill holes are for. Simply could have just been for the quarrying process. You'd stick a wedge in them and then lift up. We're seeing the tool marks here, all consistent rake marks are what I'm calling them. I'd love to know what kind of tool did that because it starts kind of sweeping and then goes a little more straighter. I'm just curious as to what caused that. Not sure how I would do that. The only way that I can think to do that would to be have sort of tool or rake that has all those claws on it, just like a modern mining equipment, and then you just simply have a heavy like excavator and then scrape away. But I don't know. So, and then that cut right there seems to be maybe where a door was perhaps wanted to be started, and everybody's looking at all these different doors. Alright, on the west side of the second pyramid here, still in the enclosure. So just wanted to make a clip here pointing out how the lower granite, red granite casing stones have been thrown about, so to speak, and broken apart and harvested for other building projects in more recent modern times. We see these cuts here to make, well, I don't even know, make whatever, make thinner, lighter weight stones that are easier to transport. So these have just been thrown all about and just tried to use and repurpose and ransack, so to speak, to get just some good building material. So still in use today. Okay, so wanted to do another eclipse video on this casing stone. So pretty much freaking right on. Nice and flat, nice and straight, gonna stay level. It's good building practice to make everything flat, straight, level, and true. Gonna last longer, less gaps. Here's two more. Right on, guys. Very well done, built to last. Okay, so down here in the enclosure, I just noticed this another channel here that zigzags from there to about the center, and now it's coming back out. I'm not sure what that's for. Certainly interesting from the geometric plan view perspective. And we have all these doors that are closed off. Not sure what these are for. I don't know what this one is for. It's going up at, pointing up at the top. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. Maybe that could have been part of the alignment system. The alignment, I forget what the word is for it. But perhaps what I'm trying to say is that this pit here would be kind of a base station, and then you'd have a rod with a point on it, and then another rod farther out with much taller point on it, and that would give you the trajectory of the slope to try and pinpoint the exact top center. The farther you're away from something, the harder it is to measure. So say if you had like 3 or 4 of those rods, you could visually align it to the top. Alright, so finally made it here to the third pyramid. We're on the north side. We just came from the bus from the other side, and here we have the red granite casing stones on the lower level here. Pretty interesting why these were left when everything else on every other pyramid was totally ransacked and taken away. Of course, these are left rough here, and by the actual entrance they are shaved smooth. So in my opinion, that means that, of course, well, not my opinion, but just more logically, these have to be set rough and then honed in after the fact. These are what we see, the nubs on the bottom, the almost polygonal style. Well, I guess you could say they are polygonal style. Total contrast to the second pyramid that we just came from, where it was all bedrock. just very interesting how this one is much different. Just staring at it from a very long distance, you can see a big difference between all three of them. This one definitely is by far the most unique, definitely bigger, chunkier blocks, sort of, so to speak. And then the notch up here is where somebody tried to disassemble this whole entire pyramid, but they gave up because it was too difficult. But again, I guess kind of questioning why was this lower red granite here left when somebody tried to harvest the limestone up there, and how are these not damaged?
Yeah, I think not that impressive that it's all altered. Like, you have no idea what it originally looked like. But the head's neat. If I say $1, they should say $1. It's hard to tell for the prices, right? I don't know. Maybe too much time has passed. Not a lot of people know about it.
Kevin Fisher?
Kevin Fisher? Here. Oh.